What is going on, everybody? Zach RC here. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome along to episode number 60 of the F1 Ultimate Career Series for the Dutch Grand Prix. If you guys did miss the last episode, make sure to go check that one out before you see this one. And as always, if you are new around here, then make sure to get subscribed for more future F1 content as the series continues on. So, halfway now through the 2023 season, and it is of course time for us to renew our contract with Mercedes for the last 8 races of our stint with them. Of course, we announced last episode we'd be leaving the team at the end of the season. In terms of which risks to go for in terms of our offer, we'll go for simple as always, medium risk. Hopefully that goes through nice and easy. We'll send our demands over. And as always, hang on a minute. They decline our offer. So, demand's too high for Mercedes to re-sign us. So, fortunately, we get another shot at this. We've got 2 more negotiation opportunities during this little period between now and the next race. But that's a shock. The first one has actually happened. So we have to come back in and set a low-risk offer. And hopefully they accept this. Otherwise, we'll be done at Mercedes a bit earlier than expected. Making our way through now. There we go, nice and easy. So, re-signed for the next 8 race weekends. Of course, the last 8 race weekends of our run with Mercedes. But unfortunately, because that offer was so low, we don't have enough to actually put another perk on. And that means our power mapping perk will go without that for the rest of the season. That could be a concern over the next 8 races or so. We've already struggled a fair bit with durability over the course of this campaign. But in terms of upgrades for today, we've got 2.2k resource points on the board. Put those towards an air upgrade, major air upgrade, coming in after Monza. So I've got Zandvoort today, and then Monza for the next episode. Red Bull have jumped us again, so we're actually down to being the second fastest car once more as we get through our season break. Well, have a look at the power unit here, so there's any real concerns. The turbocharger's getting close, the gearbox is alright, the control electronics is getting close too, the MGUH is now fresh. And in terms of the championship standings, Hamilton leads them by 9 points to Verstappen. We sit 70 points back from our teammate. It's been a torrid first half of the season. Not at all how I expected the title defence to go. But fortunately, we're leading the constructors right now by a few points over Red Bull. And we're only 2 behind Leclerc in the rivalry. So honestly, that's still attainable. It's been mighty close over the course of this first rivalry this season. In terms of the merch lines in the last episode, only made 20k back. So we've actually lost money there. So things aren't going too well for us at Mercedes as of right now in terms of just the seasons as a whole, minus the course of the constructors race. But that is more or less all that needs to be done in terms of preparation for the Dutch Grand Prix. Hopefully this race will be the turnaround we need to get the second half of our season perfect. Let's jump now into qualifying. Here we go then, time for qualifying for the Dutch Grand Prix. Of course, one of the races we won last season on the way to the world title. Hopefully we can try and go back-to-back this weekend, but of course it'll be a tough ask with the cars around us being as fast as they are. After practice, we had to choose to change the turbocharger up. The MGUH is close, but honestly, despite the fact that it's blown already this season, I'm going to run the risk and try and keep that as is for the race weekend. The control electronics box, because we've only got 2 of those, I'm going to make the change now and run that for the second half of the season. So we'll make those changes before we go out on the racetrack. But onto our first flying lap now. Fresh power units in the car. The MGH, the only real risk there. So out of turn 14, the DRS zone obviously extended from the exit at turn 14 to all the way down the main straight towards turn 1. Starting our first flying lap, Kevin Magnussen gets a nice toe there behind us going into the right-hander of turn 1. Making your way off now, heading towards turns 2 and 3. Of course, has part on the circuit into the right-hander, the immediate left. Of course, the banked left-hander here, the shorter banked corner on the circuit. The last one obviously being the right-hander at turn 14. Coming now back down the hill to go through turns 4 and 5, and obviously towards the end of the first sector, exit at turn number 6. First split, 24.5, purple first sector, so decent start to the lap here. So obviously qualifying's been okay for us recently, so hopefully we can try and continue that trend here today. So through turn 13, DRS back in play, through the last corner now, reaching 7th gear, reaching 8th gear on corner exit, and up towards the line, nearing 200 miles an hour, complete our first flying lap, bit later than everyone else, but P5 on the board, so a solid start then. And only a few tenths off of the guys up front. Only a tenth of Hamilton, who's in P3 right now, obviously our teammate. Verstappen there in P4 hasn't done fantastically recently. Verstappen's results have dipped off a little bit, allowing Hamilton to take the lead in the championship. Accelerating time, well not accelerating time, actually quite close. We've got 3 minutes left of the session. Our fresh soft tyres are on. We've got time for one more lap in this session. We're going to rejoin here in the train. And Daniel Ricciardo right there in front of us as we start our last lap. Actually the last car in the train here. So Ricciardo was trying to give us a nice toe through turn 1, but it's not helping us too much having him right in front of us for the remainder of this lap. So let's try and get around as quickly as we can to avoid losing too much time. Try and go around the outside at turn 3. No point in trying that. Losing a ton of time there. Losing all the bit of time we gained in the first few corners. I'm still behind Ricciardo. Let's try and wrestle our way past him here, going through towards the end of the first sector. The inside there of the track with all 4 wheels of the circuit and tapping Ricciardo. But still a purple first sector, but unfortunately all the momentum from this lap was slowed getting around the Honey Badger as we ran the last corner here. We haven't actually improved at all here. We're down by a couple hundred. So coming up towards the line, despite that purple first sector, it's going to be P8 on the starting grid. So one of our poorer qualifying results in the decent streak brought to an unfortunate end, but hopefully we can still make it up in the Grand Prix.
With qualifying finished, it's time to remind ourselves once again of our top three: Leclerc, Sainz and Lewis Hamilton. Goodbye for now then, but really we're just getting started. Make sure to join us again for Lights Out tomorrow.
So Ferrari then lock out the front row. Leclerc on pole, Sainz in second, Hamilton lines up third. Verstappen down with us in 7th place, and we qualify in 8th. So work to be done in the Grand Prix, but we've won the circuit before. There's every chance we can try to go back to back if the car holds together, but time now to jump into the Grand Prix.
Welcome along then to the North Sea coast and to the Zandvoort circuit. We're 25 miles away from Amsterdam for today's Dutch Grand Prix. It's a race the great Jim Clark won on 4 occasions, leading for an astonishing total of 370 laps. Zandvoort circuit has 14 corners, 10 to the right and 4 to the left, with plenty of steep camber and elevation changes to keep our drivers on their toes throughout the 2.6 mile lap. Off the back of a fantastic qualifying session, it's time to see how our starting grid looks like for today's race. A fantastic effort from Charles Leclerc yesterday, and it's put him on pole. And a very happy Carlos Sainz will start second. Moving on to the rest of the grid, we have Hamilton, Norris, Perez, Oscar Piastri, Verstappen, Cohen, Gasly, Albon, Fernando Alonso, Bottas, Stroll, Tsunoda, Magnussen, Joe, Ocon, Hülkenberg, Ricciardo and Logan Sargent. That's it then, it's time to go racing as we head down trackside for today's race. And with me today, of course, is Natalie Pinkham. Now, can I get your take on Max Verstappen? That was a solid result in the last race. Can they keep that momentum going this weekend?
It's always nice to come into a Grand Prix weekend on a high, but your expectations are based much more on your practice and qualifying runs. So it's the momentum from those sessions that they'll be hoping to carry into the race today.
Here we go then, no more talking, time for action at the Dutch Grand Prix from 8th place on the grid, and hopefully the start of our resurgence in the second half of this 2023 season. In terms of the race ahead then, we've got default strategy, softs to mediums over the course of this Grand Prix. In terms of fuel, I'm going to turn that up a little bit because I never really know in terms of fuel at Zandvoort, especially in the last few games, so we're going to try and avoid any sort of concerns there and just ensure we can get the car to the end of the race and obviously try and win the Grand Prix.
Lap gets underway then, and it's going to be interesting today to see how the dry conditions could affect the lifespan of the tyres.
So the C3 tyre, the primary weapon of choice for the majority of the field here. 6 starters on mediums: Piastri, Albon, Bottas, Magnussen, Zhou and Ocon. So a number of cars down the field, but of course all our main challenges around us will start with the soft tyre, so it'll be a fast start to the race, and our mediums through to the checkered flag.
We're almost ready to start the race as the cars take their positions on the grid, with the drivers and teams making their final preparations.
I don't need to stress how bad the first half of this 2023 season has been compared to how our seasons have started in the last 3 seasons of Ultimate Career, but hopefully today can be the start of our resurgence. We can try and take our first full Grand Prix win of the season. Verstappen there lines up alongside us. He wants to try and get himself back up with Hamilton in the race for the championship. A few points back right now, but that could change if Hamilton gets another good result. He starts in P3, and those Ferraris look awfully quick here. They looked out the front row. They could be the cars to beat in this Grand Prix today as the last few cars take their spots here on the starting grid. Ricciardo and Sargent on the back row, and waiting now, watching and waiting for those 5 red lights to get things underway here at Zandvoort. Leclerc on the front row, Sainz alongside him. It's 5 red lights for the Dutch Grand Prix, round 9 of the season. It's lights out, foot to the floor, go, go, go. We are racing here. Good start over Verstappen on the left, going towards turn 1. The 2 McLarens sitting in front of us. Piastri and Norris side by side into the right-hander in turn 1. Leclerc up front gets away with the lead. Sainz second, Hamilton third. Perez side by side with him for that third spot. Piastri and Norris creating a roadblock in front of us going through turns 2 and 3, but a decent start here. 1 place gained off the line. Verstappen down to P9, almost down to P10 for a second there. He's being challenged by Fernando Alonso. As for us, going to try and take Piastri on those medium tyres, going through the first sector here through turn 5 and up towards 6 now, passing Piastri, so that's 2 places gained in the opening sector, but work to be done though to try and catch those 2 Ferraris up front, the 2 Scarlet machines at the front of the field, and Hamilton there in P4. Perez has managed to beat him. 4 position there. On to lap 2 though. Lando Norris, our compatriot, now our next target, of course. Narrowly lost out to in Belgium. Going to try and avoid the same fate here in Zandvoort. Going around the outside of our compatriot, going into turns 5 and 6, and around the outside for turn 7 as well. That long sweeping right-hander, very easy to fall foul that gravel trap, but around the outside of Norris, clearing the McLaren and up into 5th place here. But now The work begins to start to chase down our teammate. Will be concerning himself with fighting Perez, and Leclerc still leads Sainz at the front. So work to be done, but the car is quick. The car feels strong. We've still got plenty of time in this Grand Prix, and a lot of work to get done in that time as Norris tries to challenge behind us but falls away. On to lap 7 here. It's a couple of laps of chasing later to actually try and catch Sergio Perez. These top 4 are awfully quick here, and the pace wasn't fantastic on the soft tyres as the run continued on. But going through towards turn 13 now, DRS zone obviously in play, and we're right on Perez's tail, making our way towards turn 1 here, closing in all the time, looking for a good exit off of turn 14 down the main straight. Going to try and follow in his wake and pull to the outside of the racetrack. Left-hand side going towards turn 1, side by side with the Mexican into the first corner. Can we outbrake Perez? Yes, we can. Into 4th place then. Mercedes running 3 and 4 right now behind those 2 Scarlet Ferraris as Leclerc continues to show the way with Sainz 2nd and Hamilton holding on nice and steady in 3rd place as we take 4th. Perez still 5th, and Norris back there in 6th place. Things looking all okay for us right now as we get only a place off the podium. We've got to try and take our teammate who's been much stronger than us in the first half of the season so far. On to lap 10 now. Leclerc not really pulling away as much here. He's having no real dramas, but holding the lead nice and steady from Sainz. Hamilton trying to challenge Sainz now, going towards turn number 11. Going to follow in our wake. Watch the choke right in front of us here. Warning light on our MFD. What? There's no warning. Nothing's red. Looks all okay. We'll continue on as we are making our way off of turn 2. Oh my! Oh, you're kidding me again. Okay, this is getting ridiculous now. What's happened to the car? Nothing came up saying the power unit was dead. What? We've retired off of nothing in this Grand Prix. The power unit's fine. That is a 4th retirement in 9 races. This is getting quite ridiculous now. We have to be cursed this season in some way. Whatever price we pay for that World Championship may not have been worth it, and we're out once again.
And Mercedes have pulled off a great victory here today. So, Natalie, what do you think helped them deliver this result?
Well, confidence breeds confidence. Success breeds success. They are very much enjoying a purple patch right now.
After an excellent performance at the Grand Prix, I'm sure there'll be plenty of celebrations tonight amongst the Mercedes team, and they certainly deserve it.
Hamilton takes victory then. Verstappen fights back to 2nd, and Perez finishes in 3rd. Where did those Ferraris go, who were so strong in the first phase of the Grand Prix? But Hamilton, another race we've retired, he takes his 3rd straight victory and extends his lead in the World Championship. That 8th world title looking very much in sight for our compatriot and our teammate. Verstappen falling away in the title fight, but we are so far gone at this point, it's ridiculous. A 4th retirement in 9 rounds. We'll have to look now at the damage in the World Drivers' Championship and see where out we sit after another disastrous result.
It's a great result for Lewis Hamilton, who moves further ahead at the top of the table. Let's see how the drivers' standings have changed. Let's focus on the driver of the day. Natalie Pinkham, come on, who do you pick?
It's got to be Lewis Hamilton. I mean, he pulled off some impressive feats out there on track today, even by his high standards.
It's time to see how things are shaping up in the Constructors' Championship, and Red Bull take over as championship leaders. Well, what an end to another fantastic weekend of racing. Thanks to everyone who joined us, and we'll see you for the next one.
So Norris takes 4th place in the end, and Leclerc finishes 5th, and it's Sainz, Piastri, Alonso, Gasly, and Albon. But DNF for us, once again, our 4th retirement of the season, and honestly, this season has been so torrid on this game, and defending the World Championship is nowhere near a possibility at this point. In terms of the championship standings, Hamilton leads Verstappen by 17 now. Look at the gap he's pulled out there. Leclerc now still in 3rd, Perez 4th, Norris 5th, and we stay 6th place right now. So actually, haven't lost any place in the actual standings. Only lost points to Norris. So now sitting 19 points behind him. And Perez only 4 points in front of Norris in 4th. So I'd say P4 will be the target for us in the championship for the rest of the season. And in terms of the constructors, Red Bull only lead by 6 now. So we've lost the lead to Red Bull. But Lewis's win has gone a long way in fighting those two off. So 6 points the gap now. And honestly, a constructors championship plus P4 in the Drivers' Championship, very much our target, and obviously try and get at least 1 win in this season. But guys, that'll do it for this episode of the F1 Ultimate Career Series. It's been a tough season so far, but hopefully we can finish it off strong. Monza next time out, try and get our first win there. If you guys did enjoy it, make sure to like, share, and subscribe for more future F1 content. Have an absolutely fantastic day, and hopefully a bit more luck coming our way next episode. Thank you guys for watching, and until my next video, I will see you next time. Goodbye.